said, seeing what you created is just pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I hope, hopefully, when I get home, them pancakes and shit are ready to go. And sit down, watch some TV, see what's going on, and maybe go to the in-laws. We'll see.
Yeah, I think
So
Cynthia knocked that out already. So um, we'll just chill here till it's time to go.
I got you. Other
Yeah.
than that, man, what else you got?
This week, regular week.
Where
This
we
week,
at,
I
real
think.
quick? And we're a little over, but I just want to shout out to all the law enforcement, everybody out there doing their thing, being met with resistance and protests peacefully. I got
Yeah,
people in the PD. I know they face rocks and frozen water bottles just for standing out there. You know what I mean? So be peaceful. All these people out here, they just out here doing their jobs. You know what I
hmm
mean? If you don't agree, then just be peaceful about it. Don't I saw some videos that were like, thank you for making us look even worse. Not really Dallas. LA's kind of wilding out. I text Chris. I was like, hey man, get out there and help the National Guard, bro. They're going crazy over there in your hood. I know he ain't from LA, but
yeah,
a lot of shit going on in the world right now. A lot of deportations, a lot of shit. You hear propaganda from both sides, the
yeah.
left
It's
side, the
both
right
sides. Yeah,
side, and
it's with anything.
you know,
You're gonna they're g- they have videos of people planted out there with with the Mexican flag or whatever that were not even part of the protest. So whatever protest there was back in the days, over the
yeah,
years, this one,
yeah,
there's always been the propaganda out there, and
yeah,
all you can do is like you said, I'm for protest, peaceful protest,
yeah,
right? The
absolutely.
cops don't deserve all that shit. The Marines don't deserve to be out there for sure. Um,
But they're ordered to, so treat them with respect
yeah,
because
so
at the
but it's not what the protest is. It's what it turns into, unfortunately.
absolutely,
And not
and
all of them did. All of them
yeah.
didn't do that. And of course, depending on what side you're on, you're gonna see that part of it
Yeah,
only,
yeah.
right?
Anybody could turn a video, no matter what it is,
Yeah.
into this
Uh-huh.
way or that way.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So don't burn the American
All I
flag
know is
either.
that I seen Bigfoot. You seen Bigfoot out there?
Nah, I didn't see
You didn't
Bigfoot
see
out
those?
there.
You're on TikTok, right?
TikTok here and there. Well,
So
actually, that's what I've been seeing watching TikTok because I
if
guess
you know
it's
I'm
in my
talking
algorithm.
about, Bigfoot's been out there, Sasquatch been out there, a
Let me
couple
ask you
some
this
people.
question, and we're running way over our time, but it's all good. Tony can edit a little bit. You're a veteran.
hmm
Your son's in the military, but I also know for you, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just assuming. Maybe the Mexican flag means more to you because of Cynthia and her family. They're from Mexico, proud of Mexico. But how do you feel when you see an American flag, somebody with a Mexico flag burning an American flag? Does that even phase you? Do you even
I don't.
care?
I think not just because I was military, but because I was born and raised here. Yeah, I don't like seeing that. Right? It shouldn't happen, and that's why there's laws against it. Right?
Yeah,
Whether it's whoever with whatever flag, it shouldn't happen. Um, but that's not what these protests are about.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
that's what they turn into, and that's why the
Yeah.
guy was like, "Thank you for putting more eyes on us. Thank you for making us all look bad." I
hmm
saw a video of a Mexican guy. He's in front of a big house. You can see, and it's intentional. You see his nice vehicles in the parking lot, and he's saying it in Spanish. He's saying, why are y'all doing this? I love you. And he's putting American, he put a flagpole, put American flag on top. He's like, because it gave me all these, and basically saying, look what I got
Yeah.
because of
The American
America.
dream.
And that's what it should be appreciative. For us, people don't understand.
I tell you what, the people that are burning flags, the people that are acting stupid, they're not from Mexico. They're from here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay? They're not immigrants. They're generational Americans.
Just want to be in the
That's
news and say they
who
fought for the
that's
cause.
who is out there burning flags. It's not the people that came over here or the people that are illegal. It's not them, right?
Yeah.
The people that this is from experience. Yes, you have the bad people, the murderers, or whatever, but that's with anything. But the people that are here working, they're not the ones burning flags.
Because they
The
want to be
people that
here.
are working and living the American dream, whether legally or not, are not the ones out there causing
Agreed.
shit. It's the
Agreed.
young kids, whether and it sucks because it's for It's for the views,
Yeah.
right? It's
To
for
say I was there for the cause.
yeah, and they're not.
Yeah.
They're not, and it sucks. And like I said, it goes back to all the other protests. Me and Cynthia did a protest. Chris was a baby, I think, for DACA back then. It was peaceful as shit because there was no social media, right? And I think that's a big part of
Yeah,
it.
they want their picture to go down in history, standing on the
They
police
want
car with the
views.
flag.
They
Yeah.
want views, and the message behind the protest was more was bigger than what the views would be
Yeah.
per se, right? Then you have other type of protests like when Rodney King or whatever. That's different than this type.
Yeah.
Of course, what happened with Rodney King, the city burned down, but it
Well,
was
even
some
with George
big
Floyd,
shit,
George
right?
Floyd more recent,
Yeah,
to bring it into more of the recent years that
those are different type of protests than what's going on now, right? Those George Floyd and Rodney King and all that, those are because people are tired of this shit that's going on, and that's more of where you live and what you deal with than versus living in Duncanville type shit.
And the way I look at it too is like, I don't have no ties to Mexico. I don't. Mexico don't mean shit to me. You know what I
Right.
mean? We were born here. Our parents were born here. From what I little bit I know about grandma and grandpa, they came over when they were babies, young, whatever.
Grandpa was from here, but grandma was undocumented.
So I don't have no ties to Mexico. You know what I mean? For me, it's like I'm proud of my heritage for sure. I'm Hispanic, but I'm American. You know what I mean? So, you know, I just think that, and I know many people's parents, like you said, grandma that did come over here to, to work and do shit. But now with them, like you said, the American young people burning the American flag, or whatever, it makes it look dumb because now people easily can say, well, if you love that country so much, then go back. If you
This is their country.
Huh?
This is their country.
No, but I'm saying it makes the ones that are not from here.
Yeah.
It makes it easy for them to look at them because of the actions of Americans.
Yeah.
To say and the news or me, I can't tell if they're from here.
Yeah,
or
for
from
sure.
Mexico.
Yeah.
So the way the public looks at it is, okay, you love Mexico so much, and go back. Stop burning this one if you hate it so much. So protest to say I want to be an American. I'm a good American. You know what I mean? So, but like I said,
the thing is, they are Americans.
yeah.
They're because they were born here. Their parents or their grandparents are the ones getting affected by it, but they're not the ones causing all the chaos.
Like I saw one real quick. I know we need to wrap it up. I think it was Irving or somewhere, 18-year-old kid. I don't know if I talked about this on the last one or not, but he was a junior in high school, got pulled over, got taken in. He was on a student visa.
Mm-hmm.
It expired. They took him in. I guess because of all the news coverage, they let him back out like 7 days later. But he's mad at the government. I'm like, well, be mad at your parents that they didn't renew your shit.
That's part of it too.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? That's part of it.
You got to keep up with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it can be done because, like I mentioned before, Josh's girlfriend's gone through the process. Cynthia went through the process. A guy at work told me that his dad went through the process. His mom was here illegally. She had to go back to Mexico for 2 years before she could apply again. She did it, and she came. You know what I mean? So there's ways to do it. You just can't be mad at the government because they're just not allowing you to come over the border and just fucking live, because no country should be that way where you just let people come in and just start living. You know what I mean? We got to know what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? You look at people like Laken Riley, when she got from Houston, 19-year-old girl got raped by 2 Venezuelan illegals that had already been deported and walked back over. And that'll change your opinion on deportation in itself. You know what I mean? They didn't riot for her. I don't even know if you know who that is.
I know, I've heard.
And a lot of people don't know who that is because, and sometimes I feel like we're worrying about the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? What about this?
I think the message behind these things going on right now is, like I said, you're gonna get those murderers, rapists, or whatever, and that's what's gonna be mostly drilled into your head when it happens. And that's fine. But the message behind these peaceful protests, to me, and what I would say, are humanity and due process, right? Due process. When I was in the military, we go to other countries. They would say, "Don't act stupid. Don't break the law because you're in another country. and you're gonna fall into the laws of that country,
Yeah.
right? The USA has certain laws of this country, and illegal immigration is the first time offense is a misdemeanor, and there's a due process that America gives anyone that is on the soil, whether illegal or not illegal, and that's why people are doing the protest peacefully. You just don't scoop up somebody and take them because there's a due process, right? This is what America is built on. It's in the Constitution, it's in the laws. If somebody gets caught being here illegally, yes, it's illegal, but it's a misdemeanor, right? Unless you murder somebody, right? But if you get in a raid, they'll take you to the place where they take all the immigrants for raid. But they're supposed to have a due process.
But
You're supposed to have a court date. You're supposed to have a way to prove not your innocence, but like anybody that has a misdemeanor here, you know
and there is due process, but if the country doesn't know you're here and you're not doing that due,
that's not due process when they're just putting you on an airplane and sending you back.
yeah, but they started their thing?
Who?
No, they're doing that with the El Salvadorans. They're not doing that with they're detaining a lot of the people they're doing now, and they're going through them. They've released people.
Yeah,
But
they
if
have.
if
But they've also sent
but if
planes
they're
to
not coming
Mexico and other
here
countries.
and doing it the right way and going through the courts, then they're not giving themselves the opportunity.
They're doing
to
that
have-
too.
No,
they've
but it's
been
going
they've
both
been
ways.
they've been ICE at the court. People are doing it the right way, and as soon as they come out the court, they're arresting
But
them.
they're looking them up. Those are people that have committed crimes.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
Not all of them. That's
Most of them
that's
are,
the
so-
the news you're watching,
Yeah,
right? And
the real news.
the real news, the news that you're watching, and it's both ways. And my eyes are open to both ways, right? If you want to get, if you're here legally, then follow the law to not get caught, right? To not have a reason to get sent back. But at the same time, this country is built on due process, and whether you're legal or not, you come here because you have rights in this country. This is not Venezuela or El Salvador where you don't have rights. I think El Salvador's got better, but let's say Venezuela where it's almost a communist country, right? Maybe I don't know the whole
Yeah,
thing behind it, but people get asylum or whatever that word is to come here because of the way the country is, right? And that's not what America is.
Well, the thing I look at it is too. Sometimes we just got to say no. I mean, these people got to go.
But there's a due process to this.
neighborhood.
I get it. But send the people that are supposed to, the criminals, like you said you wanted, the criminals, send them back.
But you got to look at it too. People are looking at about what's happening right now, but you got to look at it too. That for 4 years, millions just came in.
Yeah.
So this is the way it's going of crazy. People say it's crazy. They're here. They're there. Is a result of the millions coming in. So if those millions weren't let in for 4 years, it wouldn't be as crazy as
So
it is now.
besides
it should be contained.
besides the murderers and the rapists that are part of it, I'm not gonna say they're not, right? Or the people
And not just
people-
Mexicans,
or
Haitians,
yeah,
all
yeah.
kinds of people.
I'm not just talking about
yeah,
Mexicans.
yeah.
But besides those that are breaking the law, right? The people that have been here for years, that are already intertwined with the society, that are paying taxes, that have families, that have kids, that are being big members of society, whatever race it is, what are they doing that's so bad,
And I agree.
right?
You know, before these protests started, I was texting with Myra, and I was like, I said, "Damn, I know I voted for this. I'm up for deportation." And I even told Myra, I said, "Man, I feel like it's getting a little out of hand."
hmm
You know what I mean? I admitted it. She was like, "I know. I've seen the stuff."
When you're going to Home Depot and scooping those people up, what are they doing that's bad?
They're loitering, loitering in the parking lot.
Come
So,
on.
you know,
Come on.
I mean, you want to get
Okay, they're
so they're doing
loitering.
something
They're loitering
to
but,
work.
But loitering. But what do you do with loiterers?
Send them back to their countries.
You don't
Nah,
do that. You run them
But-
out. You tell them, can you leave? Home Depot doesn't let loitering
Then
here.
they're back the next day. But
Fucking
what I
do.
was getting at was, so I felt bad, you know what I mean? Because I agree. I mean, grandmas, grandpas, and good members of society, let them be part of the society. Let them be the first ones if they haven't been going through the process. Let them start going through the process. You know what I mean? But then I started seeing all the fucking looting and the riots, and it made me switch that stance. I still feel bad, but I'm like, you know what? This is why.
But those
This
are not the people that
I
are here
know, but
legally.
the ICE and everybody and me looking, they don't know. So all they have to do is go out there and fight everybody that's involved, whether
Hmm.
they're legal or not. They can't look at him and say, "Oh, he's not illegal." All they know is this motherfucker's out here not peaceful protesting
Right,
anymore,
right. I
waving a
get that.
Mexican flag. So he's pledging his allegiance to Mexico. So
That's
I
not
don't
what
know if he's from
that's not
Mexico.
what the Mexico flag is, or the El Salvadorian, or whatever flag you're flying. That's what is getting misconstrued. Also, when you're flying your flag versus the American flag, which I think there should be both out there. I'm not
Correct.
gonna
And if you
deny
want your
that.
Mexican flag at your house, fly the American flag.
Yeah, because we've talked about it. It means something here, but the Mexican flag isn't saying I want to be at my in my country. I want to turn United States into Mexico. It's not that. It's showing that we're here. Like like acknowledge that we're here and our blood is this, but we also want to be here and live the American dream.
But you don't think an American flag
Like I said,
speaks more
they should
positive?
have both.
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
think you should. I don't think you should
Or
not
even
have other
or
countries'
even I've seen
flags.
this flag where it's half Mexican, half American. I
Hmm.
respect that,
Hmm.
but just show that I want to be here. I'm Mexican. You can show that you're Mexican and still flag an American flag. You know,
Hmm.
American flag with a "We want to be here" or Mexico shirt
Hmm.
or something. But show my allegiance is to America, but my roots are Mexico. You know, type.
But like I said, the people that are doing
Yeah,
that are
but
from
it's
here.
giving a bad
Are
perception
from
for
here.
other good
Yeah,
people, and
are from here.
that's what I'm saying.
Because I guarantee you, the people that are fighting for DACA or are in DACA that don't know what the result is gonna be, they're not out there doing that shit. I
Exactly,
can
because it's
guarantee
fucking
you
up their
that.
cause.
Yes.
It's making all the causes that are making progression with helping legalize a lot of people. It's taking them
So
all the way
if
back.
you're looting, if you burn the flag, then yeah,
Burning cars.
then do what you need to do. Charge them for whatever the charge is. There's a charge for burning the flag. Of course, there's a charge for burning up
And they're
cars
catching them.
and breaking windows. That's fine,
Yeah.
and put them through the process and put them in jail
And
and make them go do
and you're in
whatever.
LA, and they showed a lot of these businesses that they're burning and looting are immigrant owned.
I don't agree with that either. Of
You
course,
know,
as a
so
business owner, no.
but keep it peaceful so y'all can get y'all's point across. Don't do the ignorant shit because the news is gonna,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
and it needs to be exposed that yeah, these motherfuckers are doing it. You know, like uh, CNN. Yeah, we're out here and it's all peaceful protest, and you got three cars burning in the back, and motherfuckers. I mean, they were breaking curbs just to get bricks to throw at the cops. You know, I
Hmm.
support the blue. I got like I say many times. I got many people, you know, in the blue, and they're just out there doing their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And their job is and is not to this grandma that's sitting on the side waving a flag. Unfortunately, you got the agitators,
Hmm.
and and just like in war, there's going to be casualties. You know, you can't have a war. You're not gonna have a war without killing an innocent person, innocent kids, or you know, schools get bombed by accident sometimes, and unfortunately, there's casualties in this mass deportation. Hopefully, and people get me wrong, man. People think I'm Trump and I'm for deportation. I'm for all this shit. You know, they think that I'm just a Mexican hater. You know, I got this fucking white guy that tells me how I'm supposed to feel about Mexicans being deported. Motherfucker, you know what I mean? Trying to tell me that I should be offended. Eh,
It's not everybody's fight.
yeah,
I can
yeah.
relate to that. Like
And
you
I'm
said,
just
you have no ties to it.
yeah. And I feel bad. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I know that the Hispanic Mexican community it does a lot. The farming, the construction. You know, I saw construction sites where they were empty, arrested 100 people. You know, hopefully, and there's criminals in there. You know, there's
Yeah, I'm
criminals.
sure. Yeah.
Just because they haven't committed a crime here, don't mean they might not in the future. You know, so if you got a criminal background, you got to go. But then I look at it like, go for their companies. Don't
The
just come
boss.
for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go for the white company that hired all these
Yeah.
motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And so you can go back and forth. I do have compassion for the good people that are going back, but at the same time, we've got to get rid of a lot of people that just and you're talking about back in the day. That's different than a lot of the ones that came over 4 years ago, within the last 4 years. Because I mean, and that's not just Hispanics. That's You know, it could be Middle Eastern terrorists. You had a lot of people there was thousands that came from Haiti.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So and Asians, everybody, you gotta get them all. They all break laws, but I'm talking about the ones in the last 4 years, not the ones that came over actually. You know, where their kids
Living
they
life.
suffered to get their kids through school. You know, much props to that shit. You know, I'm proud of my heritage, but I'm more proud of being American. You know what I mean? So, like you said, it's not everybody's fight. You know, just stop making. I wouldn't call them. I call our people because we're Hispanic, but stop making the people look bad because the main cause of the protest is being lost with the ignorant shit.
That's what I say
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
Don't give the news. I'm Fox News. Don't give Fox News, you know, the material to make
Hmm.
y'all look bad because
Yeah.
the real people are the ones that are suffering for it. You
Yeah.
know, that are really here. So other than that, we've gone a long time, but I just had to bring that up. You know, that's something that's big, that's going on. You know what I mean? And you know, I just feel some people just find a reason to start looting, and start fucking shit up, and like
Yeah.
you said, views.
It's our views. Like I said, when we've done the protests in the past before social media, you didn't have that shit, right? And of
Well,
course,
maybe it was, or it just wasn't
every
broadcast.
now and then there would be that one or two, right? Um, I'm talking about mainly the ones that I've witnessed or that I've been a part of, because I think we've done two of them before social media, and it was none of that.
Yeah,
Of course, like I said, there was always that little bit that would happen, right? Because
yeah,
kids want to be stupid or whoever wants to be stupid. But it wasn't to the extent of
yeah,
this. But there was no cameras besides the news. There was no social media. There
yeah,
was no views. There was no likes. There was no I gotta be here and this
yeah.
and this and that.
And I'm gonna continue to be wearing my Trump shit. I always wear my Trump shirts and shit, and just now I have to worry about somebody. If I go see somebody wearing all Mexico, I'm not gonna tell them why you wearing Mexico. You should be wearing. But in my experience, I know when I start wearing my Trump shit, I'm gonna get some
You will,
Mexicans
I'm
or
sure you
some.
will, but it happens the other way too.
Yeah, like one of the guys, we're going to Austin. I bet you won't wear that shit down there. They don't play. I said, I'll wear my shit anywhere.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I should be able to
You
wear my
should be
shit
able to.
anywhere.
Yeah, you should
You
be
know what
able
I
to.
mean? I'm not gonna be next to wearing my Trump with a guy with fucking Mexico head to toe and be like, why aren't you wearing American?
Yeah,
Because he should
but
be
then there
like,
are Trump supporters who do that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Same thing
absolutely.
about you go to the gas station and they want to push religion on you too. Like I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I agree. So
But this it's like with anything. People have their views and they don't want to hear nobody else's,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Other than
And
that, man, respect your law enforcement out there, whoever the government sends out there, whether it be ICE or the military, National Guard, just respect them. They're doing the job. They got families out there, and I've seen a lot of cops kneeling in solidarity. That's cool. You know what I mean? Show your solidarity with the people that are doing it right. But y'all start fucking up, they're gonna do their job. Like I think it was a guy in Florida. He goes, "You spit on the
see, that was
cop."
bullshit. That was bullshit right
Nah,
there. I
hell
must say
no.
that's bullshit because, and
But what are you talking about? The list he gave of
yeah, that was
everything?
stupid. How are you gonna
Why?
give the cops a green light? You can't do that.
No, you got. Hopefully, they don't have to have that green light. If
No,
y'all
you
just,
can't do that.
yeah,
And
why not?
maybe your boys that are law enforcement, they'll tell you that you're gonna get that. You shouldn't get spit on. You shouldn't get rocks
So
thrown
what are they
at you.
supposed to do?
They have to stand their ground. And if they
If
get it, if
spitting on somebody is assault,
it is, but you're gonna get that. And they compared it to Marines, right, out there in the war zone. It becomes a war zone. Not gonna lie, if they're getting spit on, it becomes a war zone. But Marine is not just gonna go shoot somebody because they get spit on or rocks. They have to stand their ground. They have
no,
to
did you?
stand.
You must have not read the list
I
then,
saw it.
because they didn't say for rocks they're gonna get shot. It said you point a gun at an officer.
Oh, a gun,
Well,
yeah.
that's the only part that he said they'll kill you.
No, but they'll kill you. But pretty much, if you get spit on, get
No, I
prepared
said if you
to.
get spit on, you go to jail. If you get rocks thrown at you,
Oh,
you get
yeah,
filed for
okay. I'm
assault.
mixing up with what Trump said.
No,
If
no,
Trump was saying the cops are just gonna start punching fools.
no, and then it talked about if you throw Molotov cocktails or point a gun at a cop, we'll let your family know where to pick up your remains.
See, that's too much, though.
No, but they
That's too
have to
much.
know.
That's too much.
But they have to know
That's too much.
that we're not fucking around. We're not gonna be fucking assaulted. You know what I mean? they have to know because it's real. It's not like it's a normal day.
No,
in society.
that shouldn't happen, right? That shouldn't happen.
Shit.
But to tell the people, what do you think the people are gonna do?
Hopefully they don't do it, or their family's gonna.
And they shouldn't, right? They shouldn't to
If they
begin
point
with.
if anybody throws a Molotov cocktail at a cop or points a gun at a cop, every cop that's in the vicinity should light that motherfucker up right away. Light that motherfucker up for real. That's why not? They want to go home to their families
No,
too.
no, that you're right, because it's a act on your life, but you don't say that to the people.
Hey, they gotta know at this point. But it's
You don't
not
say
like
that.
every day. Like if it was a normal day, none of this shit was going on. That he's putting it out there. He's pretty much saying, "Did you see what happened in LA?" He pretty much saying, "Y'all not gonna do our people like they let them do them in LA."
Mhm.
They were hitting from the overpass, hitting cops with fucking bricks.
But I think you bring it another way. I think you bring it another. Florida's wild, anyways, but I think you just bring it another way. You talk to people about being, let's say, another way of saying it, pretty much. To at least to me, my point of view is you talk to people and say, "Look, we're not California. I know my Florida people are blah blah blah. I know my Florida people are gonna come out, respect, blah blah, blah," and say it that way, right?
But look at
The
it.
way he's saying it is fighting words. The way he's saying
Well,
it,
they're
is fighting.
fighting.
But he's
So they're
wanting to
defending
bring it
themselves.
on.
No, but you look at it this way: California is Democrat, Texas and Florida are Republican, and ain't shit going on in Texas and Florida like it's in LA.
But LA's
And it's all
LA's a whole
government
different. LA's a whole different
because they're
No,
Democrat.
no, that's not
That's a
why.
sanctuary state.
That's not why.
That is why.
LA's a whole different animal.
Nah,
LA
because
is
they get
different.
away with it.
No, it's not because they
The
get away
governors
with
over
it.
there are not even saying shit.
Because
They're saying
they're
they're peaceful. I even put it like this. I said, you know what? Pull everybody out. Tell LAPD not to do shit. Everybody take a week vacation and just let those motherfuckers tear them or the whole fucking city up, and let's see what the fucking governor thinks about that.
LA's a whole
Then he's
different
gonna be
animal.
asking the government for help to rebuild his fucking city that he allowed to fucking.
Just LA's a different animal, and I think that's why the governor is doing what he's doing over there, because he knows LA's a different
But
animal.
imagine, he's the Marines, the National Guard, nobody, just LAPD, dude. That fucking city would be tore the fuck apart. LAPD can't handle it. I mean, they're getting beat the fuck up, getting hit in the head with bricks from overpasses, so it's even coming harder.
That's happened. Yeah,
You
you're
know
right.
what I
That's
mean?
happened.
So, and it's because they're not afraid of consequences. Sanctuary state, they go to jail, they get right back out. So Texas and Florida let them know we ain't fucking California. You're asking to be
No,
fucking
we're
in
not.
jail.
No, we're not.
And you see, like even my buddy said, he was out there a few days and he said, a few rocks, a couple water bottles, nothing big. And then yesterday from what I heard, everything was peaceful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they know Texas don't fuck around. So they're gonna push a little bit.
It's the fact that Texas don't fuck around, but it's the fact that just LA is a different animal, and it goes back to if because I've been out there and I knew people from LA. It goes back to years and years and years and years of shit out there. It's not just this. It's not just Ronnie King. It's not just whatever. It goes back to civil rights. It goes back to zoo rights. It goes back to Cesar Chavez. It goes back to Black Panther Party. It goes
Well,
back
you bring
to
up
a
Cesar
lot
Chavez.
of
Do you
stuff.
know Cesar Chavez's story?
Yeah, I know. He wanted the Mexicans
He-
out.
yeah,
I
he
know
was-
that. But
he
I'm just
was-
saying LA is a whole different animal in the fact that they just have had a lot of shit.
But LA also has been lawless. You've always had gangs killing each other, on a whole different scale.
That's
So
what I mean.
so I
LA is
agree
a whole
on that.
different animal.
I agree on
LA
that.
is a whole different animal.
But they
You can't
also know
compare.
that their laws are lenient. You know what I mean? In tech, that's why sometimes like me and my like, why would somebody come from California or somebody and commit a murder in Texas? They know they fucking gonna ass is gonna fry. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Because people know their laws, people know their states, and in California they know. LAPD don't give a fuck. They can get away with this. They can get away with that. Gavin Newsom, he's a little biatch. He ain't gonna say nothing. He's still saying they're peaceful protests. We're in Texas. We're like, nah, we don't fuck around.
I think people on Republican will say Newsom's a biatch, but people on the other side will say he stood up to Trump.
I don't know if he stood up to Trump or not. He just,
I mean,
I
he
don't think
pretty
he
much
stood
he
up to
did.
Trump. How?
He said we don't need you, which he didn't.
That's what I'm telling you. Pull everybody out. Then what?
I think the all that just caused more chaos.
The chaos was there is the reason they
Yeah.
went. And
But
Trump is like, okay, this is your state, but this is my fucking
no,
country.
he was saying why are you going to Home Depot when they're not doing anything? Why are you, and then now he's pulling back and saying, okay, we'll leave the farmers alone, we'll leave the hotels alone because that hits
Which I'm glad
pockets.
he did.
That hits fucking
Yeah,
pockets.
which
And at the
I'm.
end of the day, it's the pockets that are fucking them
But
up.
here's the thing: it wouldn't hit the pockets if you got other races going out there and doing the fucking work, but they're lazy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it hits our pocket,
So what are they doing
and I'm
wrong?
glad
What
he's
are they
doing
doing
that
wrong?
because I 100% agree on that part. I'm not. People get the wrong perspective. Those people are hardworking people. I get it. You know what I mean? 100%. They don't need to be treated the way they're treated, but unfortunately, they don't know who's who, and they have to, and we don't know if they have criminal backgrounds. If they could be rapists, why did they leave
That's
their
what the
country?
due
So in
process is
order
for.
to find that out, they got to pick them up,
That's what the due process is
and
for.
they're going through it. They have a facility. They're not just shipping them to fucking
There are
Mexico.
some of them they are.
Well, the ones with the criminals,
No, they're not. Not just criminals.
yeah,
But a lot of them are, yes. A lot of them are, yes. But some of them they're not.
there's going to be casualties in all
No, you're right,
forms.
there is.
And
But I'm
if it
saying
wasn't flooded with
that's not
millions
the
of
due
people, it
process.
wouldn't be on this
That's not
scale.
the due
It
process.
should have been controlled all the way back to fucking Obama. Nobody says shit about him fucking deporting people. To this day, he's deported more people. Now, he probably Trump gonna beat that number, but to this day, he's got more deportations,
I think
and
you're right.
nobody said a
And
fucking
Clinton
word
and
about that.
Clinton and Bush,
Yeah,
everybody
and
did
nobody has said
deportation.
nothing. There was no protest. There
But
was
there
nothing.
was protests.
Not like this.
You just didn't see
I
them.
don't remember
You just
any.
didn't see them.
I don't.
But there was.
With
There was,
Obama, there
and
was
now with
none.
social media, it's because you see it more.
Well, we had
And
social media with Obama.
not like today. Not like today, but there were protests. Trust me, because of the story and the people that I know, there was protests back there. There was people saying things. It just wasn't as
It's
organized.
because it's Trump. I mean, you got to admit it's because it's Trump.
Part of it is, and that's
You know what I
because
mean?
of the way
And
he
because no
sends his
matter what,
message.
people hate Trump so much. That no matter what he does, even if he was doing everything 100% right, they're gonna find fucking reasons
Part
to
of it
say
is
he's
the way
not.
he sends his message. And I'll be honest with you.
Hey,
Like I respect
it
the
is what it
president
is.
100%, no matter who it is, no matter if they doesn't have my views. I don't care about all that. He's a president. I'm American, and I'm gonna respect who he is and what he stands, what he is from
Yeah.
what I'm saying. But it's the way he sends his message. That's all it is. And I'll be honest with you.
Well, people need to stop being so sensitive and listen to the message.
It's just the way he sends his message. The president is supposed to be act a certain way, say certain things certain ways, and that's how I feel, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. When you look at past presidents, their message has been different than the message now, and that's all. That's the only difference that I see.
Yeah.
Because you're right, there mass deportations in the past. I think if his message was different, the way he said it, then that would change the whole narrative on it.
And me on the other side, I like the message he sends because he's being transparent. Why sugarcoat it? This is what the fuck is gonna be. So when it happens, I don't want to say I didn't say it or I said it a different way or I put it this
Because
way.
the message was given same thing by Biden, Obama, Bush, other Bush, Clinton, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, all of them. The message was sent out there by mass deportations, right? It was there. They spelled it out for you.
Yeah,
But the message was different.
Yeah,
The way, not the
but
message.
at the same time,
the way it came out of their mouth.
Okay, you
was
got
different.
5 major news networks,
And maybe back then we didn't.
And only no, these always been around, and only Fox News is Republican. Everything else is Democrat. So when you say we didn't have social media, it's not that. It's not that. That is part of it. But with Obama, social media was still booming. Is the media doesn't protects the president by not showing the images that are being shown now. They're hiding it to where it doesn't get to a point where Mexicans say, "What the fuck is Obama doing?" It's secret.
No,
You
it
know what I'm
wasn't.
saying? I mean, it's not secret, but they hide it. The media hides
No,
it.
the media did, but people knew.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But the media, if they're reporting it like they are now, they have no choice. Then it gets more traction. But the media does a good job of.
But the people knew
making
what was
sure-
going on. Like I said, there were protests, there were marches, there were people speaking out on it. But I think now with social media the way it is today versus what 8-9 years ago, it's changed a lot.
I just think we just got to be able to say no. You can't fucking come here. We're fucking overpacked. Communities are overpacked. Schools are overrun. No, No more.
That'll never happen.
And I know that, but limited. You know, we
That will
can't
never
just have a
happen.
bunch of people. Yeah, it's limited now.
That won't
Cinema,
happen because there's still people coming.
and still people going back.
Mhm.
So you know, but I just think this country is not just a place that you just anybody can just fucking shouldn't be a place where just anybody can just fucking say, you know what, I don't like it over here. I just want to go over here. I mean, we're Americans. We enjoy our country. You know, we move out to try to be alone. Now it's fucking jam fucking packed. Now we got to look for somewhere else to kind of have our space and you know what I mean. I mean, let them. I mean, shit. I want to be comfortable in my country before we just keep letting fucking. I mean, the growth of my community is fucking shocking. You know what I mean? And all it is illegals.
You don't know that. Just
I
like you said, how do you know? How can the cops know if it's
you can
illegal?
tell
You don't know.
tell some.
You don't
You can
know.
tell some,
No, you can't.
And then you go in line, I can. And then when you go in line and they don't know how to use a fucking debit card, they don't know shit.
But are they paying for their stuff?
The government probably is.
Oh, how?
You know what I mean? They all get fucking money. They get
Who?
phones. They get housing.
Who
all
does?
these fucking illegals.
How?
That from Biden,
How?
from the
What are
government.
they getting for free?
Huh?
What are
They're
they
getting
getting for?
housing? They're getting
How?
What do you mean how?
How are they getting housing if nobody knows they're here, like you said?
The government was letting them through. This government that wants them
Who's
out.
getting something?
Come on.
Trust me. Trust me. Who? This is.
When they were coming from New York, they were getting off a bus. They were getting a fucking debit card with $1,600. They were given a cell phone. They kicked veterans out
You're
of.
talking about people that at Walmart causing you to be in the line. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people you're talking about right now. The people in your community are not getting debit cards because
Yeah,
they're
because
moving
there's
in.
so many places that say, "Hey, the government's not going to help you. We'll help you. Come over here."
Who? Who's helping them?
Cities, government, the
What
government.
government is helping the people that
So
are
then,
not fucking-
how are they affording it then?
They're
not
fucking working.
No, hell no.
They're not working.
Maybe they are, but not enough to fucking
Who's
afford
not
over
working?
there. They're getting wigged. They're getting all
Who's
this
getting
shit.
wick?
They're fucking illegals.
They can't get wick.
They are getting it. They are. How much news do you watch?
They're
Besides
getting-
TikTok.
okay, look.
Besides TikTok, what's your news?
Look. They're getting it for their kids that are citizens.
No.
You can't
These are
get
grown
wick
ass-
if you don't
these are
have a
grown
social
ass-
security
these are grown
number.
ass people. They're getting.
You
funded.
can't
They're
get wick
getting
if you don't have it. You
They're
can't
getting
get food
funds.
stamps without social security number. You can't get Medicaid.
Well, how are they getting paychecks without social security numbers? How are they filing taxes without social security numbers?
They get ITIN numbers.
Well, then that's probably the
They
same
can't
shit.
get that with ITIN numbers. They
Dude,
can
they're
buy
getting-
car.
If you don't think they're getting
They
funded
can
by
buy
the government, you're
car.
crazy.
They can buy car. They
You're
can buy a
crazy.
house. They can buy certain things with the ITIN number, but they don't have all the benefits that
They
Americans
got more
have.
benefits, better than our veterans.
How?
They get taken. Dude, veterans got kicked out of freaking hotels to house these fucking illegals. We don't even take care of our veterans, and they're taking care. You think they're crossing the border and they got money to go fucking buy a house in Duncanville, Midlothian?
Then who's
You
buying
think
the
they
house
cross
then?
over the
Then
fucking?
who's buying it?
Huh?
How are they paying for it?
With government assistance.
That's not true.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna pull it all up. We're on the spot, and next week I'm gonna show you.
That's not
Because besides TikTok, where do you get your news?
I watch news. I look up
What
news.
news?
I look
What
at
news?
articles.
What news?
I look at Google. I look at CNN. I look at Fox News. I look at everything. I don't
When's
do
the last time you
CNN.
looked at Fox News?
This morning.
And,
Because
Not
I was
Fox
looking
4
at
News.
no Fox News this
and what were
morning.
they talking about?
The Trump thing, the
No
parade,
kings.
the parade.
So yeah, they're getting. They're getting.
I wanted to see what the parade was like, so I went to Fox News. I'm not gonna go to CNN to see what the parade was like.
Why? They're the ones that are talking all the shit about it.
That's what I'm saying. I look at both sides of it, right?
Yeah, they're
So
getting
CNN's
funded.
gonna talk shit. So I looked at Fox News. So yes, I do look at all avenues of news.
Who do you think's funding all this?
But you know what? I talk to people on the ground too. I talk to people that are everyday people that don't have benefits, that can't get benefits, that work fucking hard. And yeah, they can buy a house and a truck because the government lets them because they know that they're putting in money to the economy. So there's ways to do it, or they fucking buy cash. You know what I mean? They're buying the cars cash. They're doing what they need to do. They live in apartments or where they need to live. Or the ones that are buying houses is because they give them ways to do it. Why? Because they're putting money to the economy. That's why. That's why I said earlier, it's about having money in the pockets. That's why Trump's saying, well, let me backtrack a little bit and say, because it's affecting my homies that are in the farming industry and my homies that are in the whatever, the hotel industry, whatever it's called. There's a certain word for it. it's affecting them. Let me backtrack a little bit.
And that's a good, and I'm
Because
and
yes,
I
they are
support
putting
that.
money into the
Yeah.
economy,
Yeah,
whether
but
they're
there's a
legal or
lot of them
not.
sucking money out of the out of the
The only
government.
way they're getting money out of the economy is if their kids are citizens. That's it. The ones that don't have kids that were born here, they can't get shit.
They're getting it, JJ. They're
How? Who's
getting it.
giving it to them?
These sanctuary states, all they're all about is illegals and helping the illegals before their own freaking people.
They're helping them because you know why? Because they're pumping fucking
No,
money
because
into
they
the
want
economy.
votes. They want votes.
How are they voting?
Huh?
They can't even vote.
Oh, give me a break. The voting system's all fucked up. When Joe Biden won, there was people that were dead that were voting for him.
Okay,
You think they can't
but
get
they're
an
not
illegal
supposed to vote.
Exactly,
They're not
but they're
supposed
being
to.
allowed to.
Okay,
They're
so
being allowed.
millions
Why
of
do you think
illegals
they
are
want to
voting.
pass laws that say you don't need voter ID? Why? So they can get these illegals that they're.
It's true to an extent. The legal community is not gonna. First of all, the legal
But
community is
answer
not
that
gonna
question.
vote.
Why else would they want to get rid of voter ID if they didn't want illegals to vote?
I don't know the
What
reasons
are the
behind
reasons?
that. I don't know the reasons
What
behind that.
logical
I'll be
reason
honest
would
with
be?
you that I don't know the reasons behind that.
Because they want illegals
So I can't
to
make
vote.
an answer to
Because
that.
they want illegals to
That's
vote.
not the reason.
Then why else would they say, "Yeah, you don't need an ID"?
I don't
you need
know.
ID to get a library card. You need ID. The other day I went to the bank. My ID was expired. I didn't even know. I couldn't even take money out the bank.
Yeah.
Because my ID was expired. But yet they want. What other reason would be why? You don't need an ID. Why do we need to keep count of who's voting? No, there's one reason.
I can't answer that because I don't know. To be honest,
Yeah,
because
but
I haven't looked
there's
into
no
that.
other.
I haven't looked
There's
into
no other
that.
logical reason.
But I can tell you,
anyways,
I can guarantee you that the people that are here legally, unless they have kids that are U.S. citizens, they're not getting nothing from the government. I can guarantee because I'm talking to these people every day.
I'm seeing it every day on the news.
You're new.
The numbers.
You're
I
new.
watch both. Trust me, I watch both because I like to see what the fuck they talking about.
There's certain things that they're getting because the way the way the country works. If you go to the emergency room, they can't deny you because of the laws for healthcare or whatever it is. They can't deny you to go to the
And who
emergency
gets
room.
hit for all that shit? The taxpayers.
Same thing, same as us.
Taxpayers.
If we go, the Dallas County tax pays for Parkland. Parkland's a county hospital, so even U.S. citizens go and don't pay their bills. The same shit.
Well, yeah, but that should be something.
It's just
for
the
US
way. It's
citizens.
just the way the laws work.
Yeah.
And you can't take shit out the law to just change it, the Constitution or
Yeah,
the
but
way
you can't expect to be illegal and expect the same rights as somebody else either.
they have certain rights.
Yeah,
Not all
certain
rights.
rights,
Not
but you
all
can't
rights.
expect
But
the
they have
same rights
certain
as
rights,
Americans.
and that's the part
You know,
of
you can
humanity.
go to any other country, and they don't put up with this bullshit. In those countries,
But this is America.
yeah, and that's why America's a fucking joke right now because of allowing
not
that
because
type
of
of
that.
shit. You don't think other countries look at everything from the George Floyd bullshit, even the Rodney King shit, Rodney King valid, George Floyd bullshit, he overdose regardless. You know this shit. I mean, it's just got to chill. There's got to be some rhyme and reason. Is he doing it 100% right? No, I don't think so.
Mm.
But it's a mess that he got left with for the last 4 years. There's gonna be casualties. I love that he's leaving the farmers. I'm not saying all Mexicans need to go back. There's fucking guys every day I see on the construction. Good fucking guys. I don't want to see those guys just because they're illegal moved out. I wish it wasn't so out of hand that it has to be that way sometimes. And it sucks. Believe me, I don't want to see none of them. But in order to get the bad guys, we've got to vet people. And if we were vetting people at the borders like we could, maybe the numbers, it'd still be high because, like you said, you're right. People come back. I knew people growing up that got arrested, got deported, they were back the next week. So it's never going to stop.
It's never gonna stop.
But there's got to be something in the system. If you can deport or deny entry to one person that, Lake and Riley, if they weren't able to get back, which they probably would have got back whether it was open border or not, but it would have been harder for them to get back. You know what I mean? So if you can, out of 200 people from one city get deported, and 2 of those guys were child molesters or had done already a crime that hadn't been caught for, then it's worth it.
So when they're coming back, why is it so easy to come over here?
I don't think it is no more. It's always been a way to get over because for me personally, I think the government.
Who's helping them get over here?
The coyotes are getting them over
But how?
here.
Who's the coyotes working with to get over
The
here?
cartels and shit.
Who's the
No,
cartels working with to
with the
get over
government.
here?
That's what I was just about to
Exactly.
say.
There
That's
you
what I
go.
was just
There
about
it
to
is.
say.
There it is.
Just like drugs is never going to stop
Yeah.
because you got high-ranking governments that deal with it.
Mhm.
That deal with it. But they flooded through not just Mexicans, Haitians.
But
Middle
who's
East-
helping them come through?
Well, the border was wide open.
Who's helping them come through though? Illegally?
You keep asking the same question. I keep answering it.
The government.
Yeah.
So the
Joe
same
Biden.
government that's trying to keep them out is keeping them, is bringing them in
No, it's a
too.
different government that let
It
them
doesn't
in the
matter
last
which.
4
It doesn't
years, and
matter.
it's a new
It
government.
doesn't matter
that's
whose
sending them back.
government or who's the sitting president. At the end of the day,
It
this is
does
not.
matter
This
because
isn't
we're
just.
seeing it.
This isn't just a problem that's been happening the last 8 years. It's been happening for many years. Whether it's Republican, Democrat, or whoever, it's still the same government, U.S. government, that's somehow helping them get in. Same U.S. government that's helping stuff come out. Same U.S. government that's
Yeah.
helping other things come in. Same thing, U.S.
Absolutely.
government that's been doing the same shit for years and years and years, right? So it's not just something that because Biden did it or Obama did it or whoever did it,
It's out of hand.
it's out of hand.
Because
but
of them.
because of years and years and years and years and years, not just the last 8 years. You can't just
No, the
say
last
8
4
years.
years, you got to look at the numbers. More millions more have come in than in the last 4 years and the last other 4 years. This last 4 years,
But it's
you
been an
cannot-
issue
you
for
cannot-
many years.
Yes, it has,
Many,
but it's
many,
never
many,
been
many.
this way.
Many.
But the last 4 years is what's caused it to be where we're at today. Because before, when Donald Trump was before, he wasn't talking mass deportations. His first administration.
But it was an issue.
Yeah, just like it's always been.
Because
Yes.
Obama was going
But
through
the
it
only
too.
reason there's mass deportation on this next, he took a 4-year break, and now that he's back, it's out of control. There's more murders.
It's not just going to happen within 4 years.
Dude, you
No.
don't think millions and millions in 4 years makes a difference?
Okay, what about the previous 20?
It wasn't as much as in the 4 years. You got
There's
8
no
years
way.
that don't
There's
even
no
add
way.
up.
There's no way.
There is a way. Look
The
it
previous 20 to 30 years that it's been the issue, you can't say, oh, these 4 years are because of this. No, you can't.
No,
say
I'm
that.
not saying that the immigration is because it's for. I'm saying it's out of hand because of the last 4 years. And if you don't recognize that, I don't see how you can't recognize that. They had a free pass. They told them, what's that dumb bitch's name? His vice president, Kamala told them, yes, come. There's no other presidents that ever said, yes, come as you please. They said that. You'll find clips on YouTube of them saying, yes, if you're looking for a better life, come. So what did they do? There's never been, if you remember the videos of that bridge at the border, hundreds of thousands of people just camping out, waiting for Joe Biden to be president. That's what they did. Right before Joe Biden, when he won, a week before he took presidency, there was thousands of people lined up at that bridge, living Mexican, Haitians.
And what did they open the border and they just came
Yes,
in? They just walked
yes,
in
look
with
at
no
the-
due process, no
Yes,
vetting, no nothing.
yes.
I don't think
So you think they processed those 100,000 people?
they couldn't? So they came in illegally with
Yeah.
the help of the government.
And why did they come?
They didn't
Because
just walk
the government
in.
told them
They
to
didn't
come.
just walk
Yeah.
in. You can't do that.
They did.
You can't do that.
Well, they did.
They didn't do that.
You're full of shit, JJ.
They didn't just open the border and say, "Come on in."
They did. They
The
had
people
that-
that he was talking about were people with asylum seekers,
Asylum seekers could have came all these
and the
years.
rest could have came with the, like you said,
Dude,
the
you gotta-
coyotes
you gotta
and
do your
illegally.
research. There
But
was hundreds of thousands for months and
so they
months
just said,
and
they just
months.
said, "Come on in."
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at the videos.
I'm sure there's videos of it,
And
right?
then when Border Patrol tried to stop it, they said, "Oh, they're whipping them with whips and making the Border Patrol look bad." So Border Patrol, why do you think Border Patrol votes for fucking Trump? Because of what happened those 4 years.
I
That's why they vote
get
for
their
Trump.
side of it. I get their side of it.
Because they had to sit there and let all these motherfuckers come in, and then when they tried to do anything, they got villainized.
If I'm wrong about that, then I'm wrong about
Yeah,
it. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
There
I'm
was
wrong.
hundreds of thousands for months. The day that Joe Biden took office, that fence came down, and they all came in.
Yeah.
And the only reason they never ever in history ever did that, and there was hundreds of thousands of people there, all fucking for months and months. Then at one point they counted up to like 90,000 Haitians.
Mhm.
And you know when they cleared that bridge? What was it? The fucking Super Bowl, the NBA fucking finals was in LA.
Mhm.
And then Fox News started flying drones over to show all the people. Within 1 week, all those people were fucking gone. You think those 100,000 people went back to Mexico? No. But I see your side, but you got to understand that is factual.
Like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's
And me
something
too,
that
me
I didn't
too.
see.
Me
I didn't
too,
see.
me too.
And I didn't see that, and I don't see that happening. But
Because
if
the
I'm
media
wrong,
hides it.
if I'm wrong, then hey, I admit I'm
And
wrong.
the media hides it. And if I'm wrong too, I'm too. Two bros, two perspectives.
Yeah.
Politics. There was a comment somebody said don't get into politics, but there's something going on in the
Yeah, it's
world.
happening.
And I knew we'd have different perspectives,
Yeah.
so I figured it'd give a good little back and forth
Yeah.
for the people. So, but when we get out of here, we're gonna hug and
Yeah.
we're gonna leave.
Let's get back to Father's Day. It's time
Yeah,
to
Father's
go.
Day.
Let's
Father's
wrap
Day
this up.
to all the fathers out there.
Because then Tony's gonna have to edit the shit out of this.
Shit, we got
2 hours.
Yeah, shit, 2:08. I gotta get back home.
Yeah. So
All
yeah.
right, man.
Peace out. Happy Father's Day. Y'all have a good day. Let us know what y'all got and what y'all do.
And we out. Happy Father's
Yeah.
Day. Love you, bro.